President Trump says he expects to be arrested on Tuesday, citing illegal leaks out of the Manhattan DA's office, probing hush money payments made during the 2016 campaign. Our next guest calls it a weak case, motivated by politics. Attorney Saul Weisenberg served as a deputy independent counsel for the Whitewater investigations of the Clintons, and he joins us now. Saul, great to see you this morning. It seems that almost every prosecutor or every former prosecutor we've spoken to has said this is very, very weak. This is a tenuous case. What is your take when you look at the potential charges here from Alvin Bragg?
Well, there's a term of art for this in the criminal law world, and that's a hyphenated term, and it starts with chicken and then it ends with IT. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Technical term.
It's a technical term, but it's a real term that's used. The question you should ask yourself about this, and anybody who's watched me over the years on Fox knows that I'm no big fan of Donald Trump. But the question to ask yourself in a case like this, would a case like this be brought against anybody else, whether he or she be president, former president, or a regular citizen? And the answer is no. You can debate all day long whether or not former President Trump should be indicted related to the records at Mar-a-Lago, whether or not he should be indicted with respect to January 6th incitement of lawless activity. Those are real crimes if they occurred and he committed them. This is preposterous.
Why? Why is this preposterous, Saul?
Well, like I said, number one, because it would never be prosecuted this late against anybody else. Number two, it is in most instances under New York state law a misdemeanor. It can only be a felony if the falsification, from what we've heard, this is about falsification of records. That can only be a felony if the records are falsified to conceal another felony. So there are real questions here whether or not it ultimately stands up because of statute of limitations concerns and other concerns. It is a weak sister case.
Saul, the more I listen to you or others talk about this case, it seems to me, tell me if you agree or disagree with this perception, but it seems to me the purpose of this is actually to get a photo of Donald Trump in handcuffs this week.
Well, I actually doubt that's going to happen. I think that they're going to, first of all, they've got to deal with the fact that he has Secret Service protection, that is the New York authorities. And I would say that would be very, very stupid on their part to do a perp walk, to release a mugshot. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be on Tuesday, from what I understand, either. It'll probably be this week. So I don't think you'll see that. On the other hand, apparently this DA had originally decided he had no case and was pressured by the progressives to change his mind on that. So who knows?
So
anything is possible. Again, we don't know for sure what the charges are going to be, but if what I've heard is correct, this really is sad.
Okay, one last question quickly, Saul. You mentioned all the other potential investigations into Donald Trump as well. I've seen in the articles this week that if you, and I don't know this to be true, but I've seen this characterization that if Donald Trump were asked, he would prefer this charge to be brought first, as opposed to something in Georgia, or as you mentioned, something about January 6th or Mar-a-Lago. Why? Why would it be strategically advantageous for Trump to deal with this one or have this one run out front,
as opposed to the other ones? Because it is so obviously political, and it's such a chicken bleep offense.
And then it could undercut the others, would be the idea?
I think so. I do think all of these charges, if they're brought, are going to ultimately harm him politically. But I think it makes perfect sense that he would prefer to deal with this first, because the charges it's brought by an elected official, Democratic official, and it would obviously be political.
Right. Deal with the chicken blank first. I understand your analysis, Saul Weisenberg. It's great to hear from you this morning. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.